There's no reason for A runners to be zigzagging through D, C, B runners to get to A slot.
No. So it's today. There's all these corrals. You go down Poydras through the French Quarter up Esplanade, and you finish in front of Noma in City Park.
Nice.
So I would, and the last one you asked me was, how do you register? Well, you can register. Our expo is open right now. It's open till 7 o'clock tonight, and then it opens from 10 to 7 tomorrow. You can register there.
Where's the expo?
Online.
Where's the expo?
Expo's in the I don't know if they call it the Great Hall or the Elite Hall down below. It's 70,000 square feet. There's a lot. It's free. There's a lot to see. There's demonstrations. There's athletic wear kinds of booths.
Now, where is this, Eric? Where is this?
In the bottom of the Hyatt.
Oh, in the bottom of the Hyatt Regency. Okay, gotcha.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, it's free, so anybody can go down there and look at it. I would absolutely encourage anybody that's even thinking about it to get it done by the time your show's over with.
Yeah, y'all gonna hit 18,000.
We're gonna hit the number either tonight or early tomorrow morning.
What's the website, Eric?
CCC10k.com.
CCC10k.com. Any final thoughts, Eric?
No, I really appreciate it, as always, when you have me on, because you're knowledgeable and you know what you're talking about. It's going to be a great year. I mean, there's no rain. We're sure there's going to be no rain.
Yep.
We really expanded on the expo's bigger for one thing, but the post-race party is way bigger. The footprint to hold the 20-something thousand people that'll be out there needed to be increased. And we've got new food options. There's stuff for kids out there. We've got a band. It's just like a festival. And free Michelob Ultra, Gatorade, Blue Runner products. Even if you're not a runner, you can still get a wristband that gets you into just the festival.
That's fantastic.
I highly encourage it.
Can't beat that. Eric Stewart, Thank you so much.
Always a pleasure, Cork.
Same here. That's Eric Stewart with the Crescent City Classic. It goes off Saturday morning. Corey Johnson with you.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Outdoor dining, Middle Eastern cuisine, under the oak trees, Lebanon's Cafe, some of the city's finest lamb chops and shish kebab, Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn, Lebanon's Cafe.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with LeafGuard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again. Ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install LeafGuard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters' 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now. Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
Does Helm Paint have the best paint on the planet? Helm, yeah. We only sell Benjamin Moore, the world's finest paint. Because paint ain't paint. Let us steer you right. Helm Paint. That's supply. Total maintenance keeps you. Total maintenance keeps you. Total maintenance keeps you. TM-AC.com, your cool spots. Total maintenance keeps you. TM-AC.com, your cool spots.
It's Corey Johnson on the neutral ground.
Roll call.
Kenner, Metairie, Harahan, River Ridge, Algiers, Gretna, Harvey, Terrytown, West Wego. We got you covered.
Yeah, you right. Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you. Thanks so much for joining us. If you'd like to join us, like dialing up the program, 766-9480 is how you do it. 766-9480. Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser in less than 30 minutes. He'll join us to start the 5 o'clock power hour on this Thursday. Billy Nungesser's really ticked off. Apparently, business owners in the French Quarter are calling him and saying, this is like the final straw. You pull this IV waste contract and have the city play politics, we're leaving the French Quarter. Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser to start the 5 o'clock hour. In about 30 minutes, stick around for that. Neptune Pass, this big break in the Mississippi down by the mouth that's growing land. Mike Smith wrote a great piece in the Times-Picayune article, Times-Picayune today. He'll join us about 5:20 right after Billy Nungesser to discuss it. And I'll ask Nungesser about Neptune Pass because Nungesser's against the Mid-Barataria sediment diversion project. I am very much for that. So obviously I agree with him on the trash contract. We'll disagree on the diversion project. Thursday afternoon edition of the program. It's a little bit after 4:30. You know what that means, huh? Bradley Schneller from Stacked Coaching joins us on the program. Bradley, what's up, man?
What's happening, Corey?
Happy Easter.
Happy Easter to you, my man.
How do I avoid cake and a chocolate bunny and lots of goodies, pecan pie, sugary items, fats on Easter Sunday?
Well, you know what I'd probably say is that if you've been working all year, you can have some of it. Or have a bunch of it. It's just when you do it all the time that you makes it much more difficult to avoid. So, you know, for those of you who are looking to try to get on the right track or constantly striving to be on the right track, you know, I would say decide the things that you really, really want to have that's really, really worth it. Have a little bit of it and move on about your day.
All right. You ready for some questions, Bradley?
Yeah, let's go.
Hey, by the way, folks, if you have any questions about fitness or nutrition, Bradley's the guy. StackedCoaching.com is the website. You can ask him anything you want. He'll get back in touch with you. You can take a virtual tour of the gym. You can join the gym. You can set up a consultation with him to meet him at the gym. Stacked Coaching on River Road, right at North Arnold, or South Arnold, I guess, right by the River Shack by Ochsner Hospital. All right, Bradley, forget about Stacked for a second. Regular gyms, $10 a month down, $10 a month to pay. You know, what are the positives for somebody that isn't working out? What are the positives for just a regular gym? And what are some of the limitations for a regular gym?
Okay, so this is a great question. And I would say if you were brand new to working out, and you have never done that before, and you are ready to go in there and spend your Planet Fitness money, whatever that is, $27 a month, somewhere up in there, you might as well go light it on fire, because chances are you don't know what you're doing. So it's going to be rather overwhelming, rather intimidating. You have no consistency or habits. So the accountability factor there is not there, right? And it's going to be very difficult to maintain. If you already know what you're doing, and you're looking to get back into it, that's a great place to go. It's cheap. It can get you back into it, and then you can decide if you want to up your game or not. But for those of you who are brand new and have no idea what you're doing, it's normally a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, and I'm not knocking any of those gyms, but this is just a financial fact. They are set up where the majority of the members do not go into the gym and use any of the equipment.
Their whole pricing model is for you not to show up.
That is exactly right.
Because if you do, they can't accommodate you.
Nope.
If everyone does. But there are a lot of Anytime Fitness locations where I go to those types of gyms when I'm traveling mostly because I'm looking to avoid a group type of environment because I'm in it all the time and I just want to go work out and leave at whatever time I want to. And I enjoy it, but like most of the people in there know what they're doing. You know, they know what they're doing. They have a plan. They have a program. And when you have a plan and you have a program, it's a great situation for you, especially if you have the habits or the willpower to do it.
Now I was going to say the plan and the program is great. You better have the mental discipline to do it. You better have the mental discipline to do it. All right. So we kind of get the positives and the negatives. Then when you move up to some place like Stacked Coaching, your gym, what makes it so much better?
So it's an easy and difficult question, right? Like, it's an easy question in the sense that we provide you accountability. We provide you with a group community environment that people feed off their energy. They work out a little bit harder. We write all the programming for you. So you just have to show up and we tell you exactly what to do. You get constant feedback on your form, your technique, how to improve, how to move on, how to get better. And, you know, there is a culture part of it too, where we are constantly pushing you in the right direction for your betterment of your health and wellness.
All right. So someone that joined Stack Coaching, I will say John B. I'll use him as an example. He would be like the least member in the sense that he's disciplined. He goes in by himself. He does his own workout by himself. What would be the maximum? You don't have to name the person, but just an example of someone that's taking advantage of everything Stacked Coaching has to offer, nutrition and fitness wise. What is the maximum? Because I know I'm only doing like kind of the fitness side and not proactively doing the nutrition side. You're kind of telling me I'm getting away with it.
We have a couple of members that do personal training plus group fitness plus personalized nutrition, and they take advantage of all three things. It's kind of our fast track is what we call it, in order to receive the maximum benefits the quickest, right? A lot of that is like the higher level you go, the quicker you can get to your goal.
All right, I know what a one-on-one training would be. That's you or a trainer training someone one-on-one, going through a routine for about an hour. The group class, we know what that is. A bunch of people going through a bunch of different routines for about an hour. What's the nutrition part that Stacked Coaching delivers to folks?
Yeah, so we meet with people on a monthly basis via Zoom call. We don't meet with anyone in person. We like to do it on Zoom because it kind of cuts out distractions and gets to the point. It also allows us to reach people around the world. And we have clients all over the world. Some of our coaches are all over the world. We do have two coaches that are across the ocean or across the pond. And in that, we diagnose what your current situation is, how you currently eat, what your goals are, and then we map out a plan to get there. And then along the way, our goal is to educate you. Again, not to tell you what to eat. We want to teach you how to eat. What is the best diet for you, right? Like, and then on top of that, we want you to know the how and the why to everything we do, so that when you're done with us, you don't need a coach anymore.
I would imagine, Bradley, you have some folks that tell you their goal, they reach that goal, and they just continue to kind of stay with that goal. And then there's some people that tell you their goal and you're like, I remember your goal was this, and then you moved it up to this, and then you moved it up to this, and then you moved it up to this.
Yeah, that happens all the time, you know? And then we have some people too, like on the other end of the spectrum, where they tell us their goal, they kind of get halfway there, and then they tell us they're good. And those people never reach their goal. You know, I like to tell people, we require 6 months, a 6-month commitment in order to join a nutrition coaching program, because we don't want to cut any corners, but you should consider being in the program for a year, because being in the program for a year or longer really locks in the habits and turns it into muscle memory.
Yep. No, I like hearing that. Yeah. Cause it's been like a year plus now for me. And, it's funny, Bradley, I don't know if I've verbally ever said my goals, but I kind of know what they are, but they keep changing. Like, you know, I'm not it's like football, but in a different way. if you got 80 yards to go and it's 10 yards for a first down, you went from the 20 to the 30 and got the first down. All of a sudden, the field's not 100 yards, it's 200 yards. And it's not 50 yards wide, it's 100 yards wide. And then you complete a nice pass down the field stretched to 1,000 yards wide. So even though I'm getting better and more fit, I keep extending the goals. Like I want to do more. I want to do more. I want to do more.
Yeah, and look, goals constantly change. Goals change for me. You know, sometimes I'm pushing to get better at something. Sometimes I'm just trying to maintain, right? And at this part of my life, when I have other things that I want to try to increase my performance in, and that would be like being a dad or my business, where my personal performance metrics in terms of my fitness and nutrition is just, hey, I want to maintain. I just want to make it easy. I want to not have to think about it and just stay where I am.
Yep. I guess it's all relative, but, you know, it's like a golf handicap. It funnels down. It's easy to go from a 30 to a 20, harder to go from a 20 to a 10. And then when you get in the single digits, it's really hard. So you're already down to like scratch at the gym. So for you, it's, you know, for me and other folks, when you're like a 15, you want to get to that single digit. You want to pretend you could get to scratch maybe one day. Anyway,
I do want to say this before we go. And I think this is, you know, everybody's always saying, and I talk about, there's no secret sauce. There's no magic pill or something like that. Okay. There is no shortcut. The biggest thing when it comes to people reaching their goal is time plus consistency. You put those two things together over the long haul, you will be successful.
Bradley, always a pleasure, brother. Happy Easter.
Happy Easter, my man.
StackedCoaching.com's the website. Go to it right now. StackedCoaching.com.
Some people think paint is paint. Well, it ain't. Paint ain't paint. At Helm Paint, we only sell Benjamin Moore because it's the best paint on the planet. In the end, you'll save time, effort, and money because Benjamin Moore paints cover beautifully in less coats. So the next time you pick up a brush, remember, big box, big mistake. Because paint ain't paint. To get the best, you gotta go to Helm. Let us steer you right. Helm Paint.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof, now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you.
When USA Today ranked the 10 best must-visit New Orleans restaurants for travelers, Mid-City's own Katie's made the list. USA Today says Scott Craig is chef-owner at Katie's, a much-loved Creole Italian eatery that draws armies of regulars for lunch, brunch, and dinner. A neighborhood spot where locals congregate and New Orleans-style hospitality rules. Indeed it does. Katie's in Mid-City.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com. Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
New Orleans talk giant Corey Johnson on the neutral ground.
I'll have the entire city of New Orleans in the palm of my hand.
In Metro New Orleans on 93.9 FM and 107.9 FM. Also from Baton Rouge to Pensacola, Florida on 600 AM and 1560.
Yeah, you right, Crescent City. Corey Johnson back at you on a Thursday afternoon. Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser is going to join us in about 10 minutes on the program when we start the 5 o'clock hour, so you'll want to stick around for that. Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser. We'll talk to him primarily about he's frustrated with the mayor and the city canceling the IV waste trash contract in the quarter. He says French Quarter businesses, some owners have gotten in touch with him, saying they're barely hanging on. This was a huge plus. You get rid of the trash contract, they're just shutting down and walking. So Nungesser's a little ticked off. We'll hear from him about that. Also, Mike Smith's going to join us around 5:20. He's the environmental reporter, editor with the Times-Picayune. Wrote a great piece on Neptune Pass at the Delta, this land-growing delta off the Mississippi River. And we're going to talk to Mike Smith about that. But also Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser, because he's against the Mid-Barataria Diversion Project, which I am very much for. Man, I saw an amazing video today. And I posted something on Twitter. It was about animals, just how, as humans, we need, the shepherds of this planet, we need to treat animals more humanely all around the world. And think about what we do, our actions, and how it affects animals, and not just do whatever we feel like doing, because it's comfortable for us and screw these animals. So, no, I saw an incredible video, and just we don't even understand how smart these animals are and how in tune they are that we're on the planet too. This poor sea turtle had like a plastic net around his back, around his neck. Literally, like you've seen like a tree that has like a little circle around it to hold it up when it's growing, and then it was never removed. So the tree's kind of grown around that. And that's not healthy for the tree, having this restriction. The turtle's head and neck were fatter than the ring. So the turtle was growing, and it was stressed out. So stressed out where a dolphin saw that his sea turtle buddy was stressed out, pushed him to the surface and kept pushing him by a boat. So the people in the boat were like, why is this dolphin pushing this sea turtle towards us? They pull the sea turtle out. They see the net. They cut the net off the sea turtle, throw the sea turtle back in, and the dolphin and the sea turtle swim off together. Like the dolphin knew these are the only things on earth that could help get this net off this turtle. These human beings on this boat thing. The dolphin knew that. The video is amazing. We don't even understand animals at all. We probably know more about outer space than the oceans and animals in the ocean and on land. This guy's an animal advocate, 110%. He's fully dedicated. He's all in. It's Jeff Dorson from the Humane Society of Louisiana. You can donate to them right now at humanela.com. And I can guarantee you 96, 97 cents of every dollar goes to the animals. humanela.com. humanela.org. humanela.org. Jeff Dorson's with us again. What's up, man?
Hey, that was a beautiful story you told about the sea turtle. I've seen that video, and there's magic in front of our eyes that we just either don't pay attention to or don't care or ignore. But that kind of magic is available to all of us if we want to help and just help our planet. And here's a small miracle. Louisiana introduced and passed a bill out of committee yesterday to ban balloon launches, which I actually never thought I would see. As simple as that is, I thought there would be a huge opposition, because there usually is when you try and criminalize small behaviors. A lot of legislators say, oh, that's government overreach.
Or just some like
how we're supposed to conduct our celebrations.
Yeah, exactly.
Or memorials.
Exactly.
Don't tell us how we're going to do it. And there was an enormous agreement in the room and with lawmakers, 18-0. They said, yeah, we see the value of not polluting and not harming our wildlife. I rarely hear that at the state capitol.
A balloon release, you might as well pop them all and throw them out in the street, because all you're doing is littering with a balloon release.
Yeah.
So you can get off on it and go, oh, it's great, it's colorful, it's for Jimmy died. We're only doing it when not everyone's doing it. Well, that concept doesn't work. So something as small as that, what is it, Bill 581?
Yeah, exactly right.
Nice. Good job, Jeff.
Well, it wasn't actually, we just spoke in favor. We're pushing it. It wasn't our idea because we didn't think, I tried to do it on the city council level, and I got laughed out of the chamber.
I know.
That they're going to keep doing it no matter what I think.
No, you get that meathead opposition. Like you said, you're going to tell me I can't have much celebration. What's a little balloon? Like, you're an idiot. You're green. You worry about the environment. Yeah, I am. I'm worried about the environment. Silly me. Worried about plastic. Silly me.
Yeah, and Billy stopped by. Billy Nungesser is a huge animal lover, and he's told our representative, call me. I want to do more. That's music to our ears, and we're going to follow up. I promise you. We're going to send him a big to-do list, how we can, really on a bigger scale, do things better, care more.
Yeah, Jeff, the two easiest ones that I see are using the prisons and all these jails we have, because we have an abundance of them. They're perfect for a dog. A jail cell is perfect for a dog or a cat. With a little chicken wire, perfect for a cat. And then the prisoners, it's going to calm them down. Everybody wins. And then I think the containers you've talked about for about 20, 30 grand, converting a shipping container into a climate-controlled office and kennel space for these parishes that don't have any kind of, shelter. I think those are the ones to shoot for. Uh-oh, there's Blue Boy, Jeff. We'll check you out next week.
Humane May starting up soon.
Yeah, 2 weeks till Humane May. Getting ready for that. Jeff, always a pleasure. HumaneLA.org's the website. HumaneLA.org. Please donate. Jeff does a great job, and he can't save animals without us. HumaneLA.org.
On the Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson. On TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube. On radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM. WSLA New Orleans.
It's 5 p.m.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Have you been to the new Tracy's on Magazine? There's no better sports bar restaurant in the entire city. Tracy's is inside of a 100-year-old building with literally dozens and dozens of flat-screen TVs, including a 120-inch monster. Tracy's has everything you're looking for in a sports bar, including arguably the best roast beef po' boy in town. When it's time to check out your favorite teams, make it Tracy's on Magazine at Pleasant, in between Washington and Louisiana. Legendary Tracy's in the Garden District.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. My Sittu, that's Arabic for grandmother, used to make the best football kibbe. You can experience kibbe just like my grandmother used to make, and so many other Middle Eastern favorites on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on magazine, as unique as you.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamar team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamar Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again, ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters' 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now. Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa. And now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville. The Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
Does Helm Paint have the best paint on the planet? Helm, yeah. We only sell Benjamin Moore, the world's finest paint. Because paint ain't paint. Let us steer you right.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com. Welcome back, 5 o'clock hour on a Thursday afternoon coming your way. We got a good one lined up for you. Thanks so much for joining us on the radio, on television, on YouTube. Let's pick it up with Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser joining us live on the program again. Billy, how are you? Doing well, man. Thanks so much for joining us again.
Good to be with you.
So apparently you had some French Quarter business owners, residents calling you saying Billy, we are ridiculously pleased with this Ivy Waste, what they're doing with this trash contract. And now we're hearing the mayor wants to cancel it in 90 days and get Troy Henry's company in there August 1st. And they're upset about it. They're threatening to leave the quarter. And you're pretty upset about it. Tell us about it.
Absolutely. Well, first off, it's not Troy Henry's company. He has no company. He's a middleman. And why would you give a trash contract to someone that's not in the trash business? That's the most ridiculous, absurd thing I've ever heard. And if I'm the only one that smells a rat there, something obviously doesn't pass. But to know we had so much momentum coming up with Super Bowl, a great Mardi Gras, and people were excited about Troop Nola in the quarter and what the governor's done with the state police, working with New Orleans police. We saw things getting better. And for her, at the end of her term, to just try to pull the rug out from under all the progress we made, it's disgusting. It's embarrassing. It's disgusting. And her lack of leadership and just really caring about the city is second to none.
Some say the French Quarter is as clean as it's ever been.
It really is. And I tell you, I'm really excited about the care that Sidney and his team gives the quarter. I was down there for French Quarter Fest and Super Bowl, and I saw firsthand how they take care for doing things outside of what they're supposed to do, from scraping the paint off the sidewalks in Jackson Square to wiping down the garbage cans. Just really, his team really has a love and passion for the city.
What do you say to folks, the mayor or Troy Henry, that says, we won the original contract, we got our you-know-what together with Richards, and we're ready to roll now?
Yeah, well, you've never done a good job in the quarter. And how can you ever expect the third party to take the care? It's obvious Troy Henry's in it for the money. He surely doesn't have a love for doing a good job in the quarter. It was obvious by when they had the contract. There was trash all over. It wasn't done well because the person that has the contract isn't actually doing the work. So how you hold somebody accountable when he's got to go to a third party if they're not doing their job? It's absolutely ridiculous. There's only one reason the mayor could be doing this. And I don't know, maybe she needs a job when she gets out of office, but there's no good reason for what she's doing. And that's why I say it really stinks.
Pun intended. At the very least, what do you want to see happen? That Ivy Waste gets their original emergency year out of this till December, and then a rebid on the French Quarter after that with higher standards of clean?
That makes good common sense. And I'm hoping the city council, who seems to be fed up with a lot of actions by the mayor, takes whatever legal action they can to stop her from bringing back in a middleman. The people of New Orleans deserve better. When you're throwing money at a middleman to make money that could go to better uses for the city, you're doing an injustice to the people of New Orleans that really need those funds and could be put to better use.
What do you say?
It's obvious that this mayor just doesn't care.
What do you say when Troy Henry and the mayor, or Troy Henry says, I'll do a better job than Ivy Waste?
You had your shot, and you're not in the garbage business. We should never give a contract to somebody that's a middleman that's going to take a chunk of money and stick it in their pocket. You're never going to get the same service. We should pay companies to do work that they're in that business, and they should have a long-running reputation of doing good work before they're considered to bid on work. And that's the way it should work.
Billy Nungesser is with us, Lieutenant Governor. Hey, Billy, we may disagree on this next topic a little bit or a lot. I'm kind of upset. The Mid-Barataria Diversion Project, I thought that was only a plus. It's $3 billion. It's paid for by BP money. It's going to help build land. I think we're getting to, like in old school Louisiana politics, where the needs of the few outweigh the needs of the many. Like today's oystermen and fishermen, I'm not too worried about them. I'm worried about their kids and their kids' kids. It's kind of the reversal of when they go, when my grandfather was around, this was land, now it's open water. I want when their grandkids are around for it to be land and not open water.
Corey, I know you care about this state, and I respectfully disagree. I'd love to sit with you and show you the data, and it's just the opposite. There's a few people getting filthy rich on design and studying this diversion. It cannot build any land for 50 years, and we're losing enough land where it will make no progress even in 50 years. When we could take $3 billion, and next year storm surge would go down to the coast of Louisiana, not up. If we'd have started pumping right when we got the BP money, we would have lowered storm surge 5 to 8 feet to the whole coast of Louisiana. There's too much land loss to think any diversion is going to build back land. That is a lie that they've been pulling the wool over everybody's eyes. And the past governor said, well, I'm listening to the experts. Well, his coastal director owns part of the company that did a bunch of the work. Old-time politics is right, but it's on the other side of what you're talking about. I would look, I've been since the very beginning when this diversion was estimated to cost $250,000. It's now over $3 billion. And that's not counting the money we're going to need to keep the river dredged because of the silting in the river when the water slows down. So we're going to spend another $5 or $10 million a year keeping the channel open in the river. If we took all that money and put it in the dredge, your storm surge would go down, your insurance would eventually go, and it would happen in our lifetime. We're not going to be here to raise our grandkids if we don't start using that money to lower storm surge.
No, I'm in agreement with that. I want to use every tool in the tool belt, dredging and moving, sediment through pipelines, rebuilding marsh, barrier islands, all of that. But I look at Neptune Pass. They had a great article in the Times-Picayune. It's amazing what's happening at Neptune Pass. And the Army Corps, they almost don't know what to do. At first, they wanted to block it off. It's like it's building land. Wouldn't these diversions, Billy, mimic what's happening at Neptune Pass?
No, because let me tell you what. Just like Mardi Gras Pass, when Mardi Gras Pass blew that levee out, it became thousands of feet wide, hundreds of feet deep. So the land that you think it built is actually the river that is washing out the Batcha and the levees. So it's not really creating new land. Look, 90% of the sediment that flows down the Mississippi River, more than 90%, is trapped behind dams upriver. Dr. Saheda, world-renowned scientist on the river, was fired by Bobby Jindal because he agreed with me that we don't have enough reoccurring sediment to build any substantial land in the river anymore. And when they fired him, I hired to put a plan together in Plaquemines, berms, ridges, and islands that would lower storm surge 15 feet to the whole coast of Plaquemines Parish. That ought to be done.
Hey, Billy, I'll leave you with this thought, just an idea that I had. The river bottoms are Louisiana land. So when the Army Corps dredges the Mississippi River, which we're all for, so ships can go up and down the river and to the ports and the like, they just throw that sediment off the continental shelf into the Gulf. I think by law, it's Louisiana's property. It's our land, even though if it's a river bottom, and it must be pushed through a pipe into the marsh. That's what I think. You know what?
That is a great analogy of it. And I think a lawsuit against the Corps to demand they take our material and put it where it ought to be. We're going to get together and have lunch soon and discuss all this. I love your passion, and I love that idea.
Billy, thanks so much for joining us. Stay on the mayor and that trash contract.
Happy Easter, my friend.
Yeah, happy Easter. Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser joining us on the program. Corey Johnson with you on a Thursday afternoon. Yeah, you right. Hey, Young's Dry Cleaning's with you. Tired of your dry cleaner? Want to experience the best? You can. YoungsDryCleaning.com. Walk-up locations, free pickup and delivery, manless locker locations. YoungsDryCleaning.com.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day. By river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future. At the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com. Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. Have you been to the new Tracy's on Magazine? There's no better sports bar restaurant in the entire city. Tracy's is inside of a 100-year-old building with literally dozens and dozens of flat-screen TVs, including a 120-inch monster. Tracy's has everything you're looking for in a sports bar, including arguably the best roast beef po' boy in town. When it's time to check out your favorite teams, make it Tracy's on Magazine at Pleasant, in between Washington and Louisiana. Legendary Tracy's in the Garden District.
Some people think paint is paint. Well, it ain't. Paint ain't paint. At Helm Paint, we only sell Benjamin Moore because it's the best paint on the planet. In the end, you'll save time, effort, and money because Benjamin Moore paints cover beautifully in less coats. So the next time you pick up a brush, remember, big box, big mistake. Because paint ain't paint. To get the best, you gotta go to Helm. Let us steer you right.
Helm Paint.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We do in all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com. Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City. Thoughtful conversation, common sense. Corey Johnson.
With all due respect, Mr. Dennis, I had no idea you've gotten experimental surgery to have your removed.
Live streaming at CoreyTalks.com.
What was that? Oh, I said with all due respect.
For the second time this week, I picked up Lebanon's Cafe, a to-go order for lunch. So good. 7 days a week. They open up at 11 a.m. and they roll straight through the day till 9:30. When the weather's like this, enjoy outdoor dining at Lebanon's Cafe. Shish kebab, lamb chops, all your favorite Middle Eastern sides. They're right by the streetcar barn. Carrollton at Jeanette, in between Claiborne's and the River Bend. Lebanon's Cafe, so good. Corey Johnson with you on a Thursday afternoon. If you're just joining us, you just missed Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser. We were talking to him about the trash contract in the quarter, and also a great article, piece in the Times-Picayune by environmental reporter, environmental editor Mike Smith on Neptune Pass, a cut in the Mississippi River down in the Delta where it's growing land at a pretty large clip, like 15% of the river's flowing through there and growing some land at a pretty steady rate. Mike Smith from the Times-Picayune, environmental reporter, editor, joins us on the program. How you doing, Mike?
I'm good. How are you, Corey?
Doing well. Look, I'm not going to give your number out on the air, obviously, but you should consider selling it to a talk radio program or an injury law firm.
Yeah, it's a pretty...
it's an easy one.
I sort of lucked out with that one.
You lucked out with it. It's easy. Anyway, Mike, thanks again. Great piece on Neptune Pass. That was good stuff. Folks need to check that out on the Times-Picayune. You've been down there. What was it like?
Yeah, it's been a little bit since I've been down there, but yeah, it's fascinating. I mean, the whole subject's fascinating, and it's just to see that pass. It sort of feels like you're going back in time in a way before the levees, because it's down below where the levees end.
Yep.
And so it's sort of broken through the banks down there, and it reminds you of kind of what the river must have been like, many years ago before the levee system was in place. So yeah, it's grown so much, it's really sweeps real hard into this pass when you're on a boat, and almost forming its own separate river in a way, and makes you question if that continue, would the river eventually kind of shift course right into there.
Yeah, the way you describe it, there's nothing man interfering here. It was the natural river bank, and the river was high a few years ago, and it busted through that bank and went in that direction, and about 15% of the river's going in that direction now. So that's how it used to be, right? The natural river banks, and then every now and then they bust through, and or they'd be topped, and all that sediment would flow into what is now land in Louisiana, where we're growing Creole tomatoes and citrus and stuff down in Plaquemine and St. Bernard.
That's exactly right. Yeah, that's how, people tend to forget sometimes, but that's how this part of the state was formed. This is some of the newest land anywhere, really. And yeah, it's the Mississippi itself that formed the land that we walk on every day. And so you go down Neptune Pass and you see that process happening down there in this sort of remote area. And that's what, it's fascinating on so many levels. And that's part of why the scientists love this, because it's such a rare example of this happening in the present time.
What would be a comparison, like Mardi Gras Pass?
Mardi Gras Pass, except it's much bigger than Mardi Gras Pass. This one is the biggest one to form. I think Alex Kolker, who's the main author on this study that I write about today, he says I think it's the biggest new delta forming in a long time. I can't remember offhand, but yeah, this is basically the biggest since maybe the Wax Lake, which is where, over by where the Atchafalaya River is.
Yeah.
That sort of thing.
Yeah, that's good. They're growing land over there big time, with about, a third of the Mississippi River flowing through there?
Yeah, through the Atchafalaya, and then there's a separate Wax Lake outlet that was originally for flood control purposes, but had the side effect of also building land. So yeah, you see a new delta out there too.
Mike Smith's with us, environmental reporter, editor with the Times-Picayune. Go to NOLA.com, grab a physical paper. Great story today on Neptune Pass. Great information. Neptune Pass by itself, 10th largest river in North America if it were its own river.
That's right. Yeah, and 100th largest in the world.
That's crazy.
It's quite a thing, and it reminds us that how big it's become. If people might remember 2019, how high the river got. We had to open the spillway twice that year, so that's when it really widened to this point. But yeah, I mean, it kind of it reminds you that the river is always trying to shift course. We've kept it in place with our levees and because we need a reliable shipping channel. But the river wants to find an easier way to the Gulf. And this is one of those examples of that happening.
Mike, it's amazing to me. It's like when you have a crappy football team, no one wants any of your players or your coaches. But when your players start getting picked off and the coaches start getting hired away, you have a successful team. If I'm the Army Corps of Engineer, I would be embracing new dredging. Like I'd be like, wow, Neptune Pass is causing us to have to dredge tens of millions of dollars annually to keep the channel clear for the ships. That I would be embracing that because new land is being formed. Instead, the Army Corps is the cost, the dollar thing. I mean, they can't buy the land for what they would have to dredge. And instead, and they could throw the dredge material over the banks into where that Neptune Pass is growing land or somewhere nearby that needs it. But instead, they're looking at it like it's going to cost us money. And their first thought was block off Neptune Pass. That's mind-boggling to me. Now, at least we're going to pseudo block off Neptune Pass. Is that where we are?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I should say, there are some serious navigation issues tied up in this. And, even the coastal advocates, acknowledge that and wouldn't want that to be ignored.
Of course not.
But yes, the new plan is, it's a sort of hybrid plan. We'll see if it actually can work. So they're going to build a sort of kind of barrier, a sill that's going to have a notch in the middle so boats can still pass through.
Right.
But it's going to block off a lot of the flow, basically putting it back to what it was before 2019. So really reducing it down. And then they're going to build these sort of terraces behind it. And the idea of those, and some people might have seen these in other parts of the coast as part of the state's coastal restoration projects, that's supposed to slow down the water, and then the sediment drops out there, and then that's going to continue to build up land. So it's kind of a unique thing. It's a combination of both the navigation project and the land building project. So we'll have to see how it goes. It's gotten some mixed reactions so far, the plan, but it'll be an interesting experiment.
Similar to the sill to keep the saltwater intrusion from entering north of the Mississippi, a V for boats to go through in the middle and then holding all the stuff back on the sides.
That's right, except this will be more of a permanent structure made out of rock. The sill that they do for saltwater intrusion is it's made out of mud and intended to naturally wash away when the river's high again.
Gotcha. Now, again, shouldn't they just be embracing the dredging there, just permanently dredge there and make sure Neptune Pass continues to grow land? I'm miffed. Why would you want to? I understand wanting to keep the shipping, but it seems like it's, hey, we just don't want to dredge that much here. So they're choosing to limit land growth so they don't have to dredge as much. I'm saying let Neptune Pass stay wide open and just dredge your asses off all the time.
I guess, you could. That would be one potential option. I think they would say, one, are we going to have the budget to do all that, which is a big question. Can you do it fast enough? I mean, they already struggle to dredge, keep Southwest Pass clear, which is the main channel where shipping goes through. And then there's some other dangers associated with vessels that causes a big pull on the current, which is a danger. And then there's also, we haven't talked much about this yet, but there's also some evidence that it's contributing to the saltwater intrusion problem that we're starting to have more and more because it's taking so much of the current out of the main channel.
Gotcha.
And it's allowing that to flow up further. So there's a lot of issues associated with it. And and I think moving forward, cost is always going to be a big concern.
That's an interesting angle about the saltwater intrusion with less flow from the Mississippi River. Hey, Mike, how can folks check out your stuff? NOLA.com?
Yep, it's on NOLA.com. It'll be in the print paper tomorrow. That's the main place to see it.
Yeah, it's a must read. I'm so disappointed how the governor running, the governor right now, and I'm not trying to play politics. Politicians, the legislature in Baton Rouge right now, nothing about coastal, protection, rebuilding the coast. It should be a top 5 issue for any politician in Louisiana. The mayor's race in New Orleans, we're the number 1 population center it protects. So it's mind-boggling how rebuilding our coast isn't more of a priority and isn't talked about more. I don't get it.
Yeah, to me, this is kind of the issue for South Louisiana. I mean, to me, it's hard to see anything greater than that.
Mike, a pleasure, man. Great stuff. We'll check it out on the hard copy tomorrow, the physical paper, but it's at NOLA.com right now, your piece on Neptune Pass. Thanks a lot.
All right. Thank you, Corey. Appreciate it.
Yep, me too. That's Mike Smith, environmental reporter, editor with the Times-Pic. No, a great piece, a must-read for anyone that cares. Like I was saying, the governor, the legislators, they should be all reading this. Neptune Pass is just tremendous. It's an incredible thing that has happened, an opportunity. We don't want to blow it. We want to embrace it. Hey, we're coming right back. Don't move, New Orleans.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Interlocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Interlocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Interlocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet, Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Does Helm Paint have the best paint on the planet? Helm, yeah. We only sell Benjamin Moore, the world's finest paint. Because paint ain't paint. Let us steer you right.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen. The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com. Have you been to the new Tracy's on Magazine? There's no better sports bar restaurant in the entire city. Tracy's is inside of a 100-year-old building with literally dozens and dozens of flat-screen TVs, including a 120-inch monster. Tracy's has everything you're looking for in a sports bar, including arguably the best roast beef po' boy in town. When it's time to check out your favorite teams, make it Tracy's on Magazine at Pleasant, in between Washington and Louisiana. Legendary Tracy's in the Garden District.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. It's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex, there's something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We do in all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience. Right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
Uptown, Carrollton, Riverbend, Holly Grove, Gerttown, Gentilly, Lakefront, West Bank, Lakeview. It's Corey Johnson on the neutral ground, where New Orleans is heard.
Yeah, you right. Thanks for joining us on a Thursday afternoon. If you're just joining us, boy, you've missed a whole lot. We started the 5 o'clock powwow with Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser, and he's pissed off. The mayor, Troy Henry, the French Quarter, getting rid of the trash contract, IV Waste in 90 days. No, he said what he'd like to see happen is IV Waste continue their deal they signed for a year through December, and then the city rebid the trash contract with the higher standards that IV Waste has implemented. Instead, IV Waste is done in 90 days, August 1st. And Troy Henry will take over with an 8-year, $73 million deal. 8-year, $73 million deal. If Troy Henry makes 10% off this deal, it's $1 million annually. I think, is Troy Henry doing something wrong being a middleman? I don't think so. I mean, pretty much everything Troy Henry does is like through the city, like public bids. The airport didn't like their janitorial service. They had to put out an emergency bid. Troy Henry won that bid. He has no janitorial people. He went and subbed it out or hired people, and they cleaned the airport, and apparently he's doing a pretty good job. Six Flags. Troy Henry doesn't own water parks or fields, a company that builds fields for high school AAU sports. He doesn't own hotels or anything, but he won the right as a middleman to do the Six Flags side. I had Troy on the show. I said, if New Orleans was run right and this were marketed right, you probably wouldn't have won the thing. He's like, you're probably right. He was like saying the dysfunction of New Orleans helped me win it. And it's true. I mean, when the runner-ups are Drew Brees and Demario Davis to redevelop the Six Flags site, it is painfully wrong, and it wasn't marketed properly. It's just insane. It's on I-10 and I-510. There could have been huge signs up right there. Redevelopment, how many acres? Even suggestions. I owned a piece of property with some partners on Bayou St. John. Okay? And we bought it right before the recession. And we had to ride it out for like 7 years. It sucked. I lost money on the thing overall. Did not make a nickel. Lost a lot of money. Whatever. I'm not happy about it, but that's just how it is. When it was time to sell the property, we hired a real estate company. This was a big piece of property on Bayou St. John. You could see it from, the road. And the real estate company put a 4x8 foot sign up, and it was like 8 lots. 4 lots, essentially, 4 big lots. They put one sign up, for sale, Miss Peach's real estate agent and the phone number. No traction. I said, we're getting rid of the real estate company. It was 4 lots. I put 4 4x8 foot signs up. This is what blows me away, Miss Peaches, about real estate. I'm a real estate agent. I'm putting information on the sign in front of the house. I'm not just putting Joe Blow Real Estate Agency, Bill Magoo Agent, the universal sign that is in front of every house and the phone number. I'm putting selling points, stainless steel appliances, granite countertops, fresh, hardwood floors, whatever. I'm 12-foot ceilings, whatever the pods are. Why not put that on the damn sign that you drive by? Instead, it's just Joe Blow Agency, Bill Magoo Agent, for sale. So this for sale for 6 months. Nothing happened. Got rid of them. I put 4 4x8 signs up. One said, largest available lot on Bayou St. John. The second sign said, over $1 billion of development coming to this area, which was true. All around it, all kind of new stuff post-Katrina. The third one was, build your dream home or condo tower. And the fourth sign said, what did it say? The fourth sign was something, selling it, pushing it. My phone rang a dozen times over the next week. We closed the deal in about 2 months. I got the contract signed within about 2 weeks. They did some inspections and it was done, closed. Now, I had multiple partners on this deal. This was 15 years ago. I got this guy to buy this property for $1 million. $1 million. And the, quote, real estate agent didn't get any traction at all, wasn't even getting any calls. You know why? Because they didn't push it or market it. Like Six Flags. The only people that knew Six Flags was available were locals. I was saying, let's reach out to Bass Pro Shops, Cabela's. Let's reach out to Flying J Truck Stop. Let's reach out to Buc-ee's. Let's reach out to IKEA. Let's reach out to folks that do AAU high school sports complexes, because we're so deficient at that here. Let's reach out to water park companies. Let's reach out even to amusement park companies. Don't abandon that idea. But let's proactively, as New Orleans, reach out to them. A coveted corner outside of a metropolitan area on 2 interstates, I-10 and I-510, right on that corner. I mean, none of that. You get Troy Henry, and I'm not dogging Troy Henry. I'm just saying you get a local guy who's, a middleman that subs it all out. And then the runner-ups is more obnoxious. Drew Brees and Demario Davis. I'm like, just mind-blowing. Such a crappy, typical New Orleans job, not marketing a pretty key site. No, lack of leadership sucks. The Lowe's site on I-10, the old Lowe's at Reed by the Plaza. It's a Goodwill store now. You know what that store is going to generate? A few $1 million annually in sales, and they're going to pay a minuscule amount of taxes. Hell, they're a nonprofit. They're going to pay a very minuscule amount of taxes. Leaders in New Orleans would have said, it's anyone can buy anything. But I would have gone to the Goodwill folks and said, hey, let's try to get this Schwegman store, the one off Bullard, that's set back. You're a Goodwill store. No one's riding on the I-10 seeing the Goodwill store going, hey, let's exit and go to the Goodwill store. It's a destination. People are seeking it out. So you get that old Schwegman's off Bullard back into commerce. And they'd have more than enough room there. And then that Lowe's site, you market it to like IKEA. Could you imagine if the Six Flags site was a Bass Pro Shop, Cabela's? First off, it would be open by now. The Buc-ee's in Mississippi came years after Troy Henry won the Six Flags, site. And they've broken ground, they're building it, and they're about to open it. And Six Flags they're still tearing down rides and doing demolition there. They haven't even put a piling in the ground yet, and it's years later. So that's a major problem. No, wasn't marketed right, wasn't marketed properly. You have a Bass Pro Shop Cabela at the Six Flags site. If you had like an IKEA furniture at the Plaza, these are regional gets. People that want to go to IKEA, people that want to go to Bass Pro Shop Cabela's, they're not going, I'm not going to the East. They're flocking to the friggin' East. These are regional destinations. No one gives a crap. It's in the East. And boy, the Bass Pro Shop Cabela's site at Six Flags, you're not launching boats into an artificial lake, Bass Pro Shops Cabela's. I could have pitched this to them and sold them on this. You're launching boats into natural water. You're 15 minutes away from fresh, brackish, and salt water. It is the sportsman's paradise. It's ground zero for fishing in the world. You guys should build the biggest Bass Pro Shop Cabela's around. I know what your big ones are. Most are 150,000 to maybe 200,000 square feet, like a Lowe's or a Home Depot size, like you have in Gonzales, like you have outside of Baton Rouge with your Bass Pro Shop Cabela's, respectively. In Missouri, The home of Bass Pro Shops, you got a 500,000 square foot Bass Pro Shop. The Pyramid in Memphis, you got a 500,000, 500,000 square foot Bass Pro Shops. You sell Bass Pro Shops. Guys, it's going to be called Bass Pro Shop / Cabela's. Y'all are the same company. Why use just one name? Make this your flagship store. 750,000 square feet. Bass Pro Shop Cabela's has these little emblems at every store. Some of them have more than others. Some might have an archery range. Some might have, they have guns, but they don't have a gun range. Some will have the gun and the gun range. Every single thing they have, you have at that Bass Pro Shop. You make it their flagship. You sell them on it. It's the sportsman's paradise. It's the perfect location. It's not going to take customers away from Gonzales much, and it's not going to take customers away from Mobile, Alabama at all. Instead, you're going to lure in a bunch of Mississippi customers too. Those are difference makers, change makers. But, I love Goodwill. But they should have been pushed to like the Bullard, Schwegmann's that's been abandoned for 20 years. Instead of that Lowe's, which is on the interstate. You want something where people see it and they exit to go there. Like an IKEA. Like I said, Goodwill is a destination. People are going to find it. Corey Johnson with you on a Thursday. Thanks so much for joining us. Hey, Art and Eyes on Magazine. Do you need prescription glasses? Do you need a great pair of sunglasses? Name brands you've never heard of, and that's a positive in today's world of eyewear. Google Luxottica. They own all those brands that used to be good. I loved Revo and Persol and Ray-Ban, but they're all owned by Luxottica, this Chinese-made, mafia-run, just conglomerate that controls the eyewear industry almost. Art and Eyes has name brands like Jacques-Marie Mage that you've never heard of. Limited supplies. Eyewear as unique as you. Google them. Art and Eyes on Magazine. The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City.
Some people think paint is paint. Well, it ain't. Paint ain't paint. At Helm Paint, we only sell Benjamin Moore because it's the best paint on the planet. In the end, you'll save time, effort, and money because Benjamin Moore paints cover beautifully in less coats. So the next time you pick up a brush, remember, big box, big mistake. Because paint ain't paint. To get the best, you gotta go to Helm. Let us steer you right. Helm Paint.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again, ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters' 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now. Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
Have you been to the new Tracy's on Magazine? There's no better sports bar restaurant in the entire city. Tracy's is inside of a 100-year-old building with literally dozens and dozens of flat-screen TVs, including a 120-inch monster. Tracy's has everything you're looking for in a sports bar, including arguably the best roast beef po' boy in town. When it's time to check out your favorite teams, make it Tracy's on Magazine at Pleasant, in between Washington and Louisiana. Legendary Tracy's in the Garden District.
Total payments, TM-JC.com, your cool spot. TM-JC.com, your cool spot.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Yeah, you're right. Welcome back. Thursday afternoon edition of the program. Boy, we ran through a lot today. Started off with Eric Stewart from the Crescent City Classic. That's Saturday morning from the Superdome to City Park through the quarter. Good stuff. Bradley Schneller joined us, stackedcoaching.com, talking a little nutrition and fitness. Bradley says it best. Listen to this. Nutrition is for weight loss. Fitness is for wellness. You can't outwork a bad diet. Bradley Schneller from stackedcoaching.com. He has a gym on River Road. Jeff Dorson with the Humane Society of Louisiana. HumaneLA.org is the website. Please go to that website right now and donate, because all Jeff does every day, 24/7, 365, save animals. Because in Louisiana, as a whole, compared to other states, we don't treat animals as humanely as other places. We don't have, overall responsible pet ownership in a lot of cases. It's sad. HumaneLA.org. Please donate. Lieutenant Governor, a fiery, pissed off Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser joined us to start the 5 o'clock Power Hour. You can check it out in a few minutes on my YouTube channel, The Nutriground with Corey Johnson. Just go about an hour into the, podcast. Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser ticked off that the mayor, LaToya Cantrell, he says, playing politics, tossing that trash contract to a friend, Troy Henry, instead of letting IV Waste continue what they're doing because they've taken it up to a higher level. I suggested, and Nungesser totally agreed, let IV Waste continue the original 1-year emergency contract through December, and then rebid the French Quarter contract at the higher level that IV Waste is delivering. And then the best man wins. Troy Henry, if IV Waste wants to go at it again, whatever. Instead, right now, IV Waste will be done by August 1st, and Troy Henry will come in, subbing it out to, I think, Richards, and he'll get an 8-year, $73 million deal. 8-year, $73 million. Now, here's a crazy part, not to make it more confusing, but Troy Henry comes in, wins the bid, then comes back after checking out what he has to do and ups it, says, I got to come back and, pull another $500,000 out of the city, something like that. Ramelli comes in and says, we only lost the bid by a few $100,000. If he's going up $500,000, we won the bid then. We should be the winners of the bid, if that doesn't make it more confusing. Ramelli, Troy Henry / Richards, IV Waste. Just typical New Orleans nonsense, huh? No, Nungesser's ticked off. He says French Quarter business owners and residents are like, we're barely hanging on. This was a huge positive. The quarter's never been cleaner. They get IV waste out of there and you bring in another company. We're leaving the quarter. No, Billy Nungesser ticked off. Mike Smith joined us, environmental reporter with the Times-Picayune. A great piece in today's Times-Picayune. NOLA.com. It'll be in the physical paper tomorrow on Neptune Pass down at the mouth of the river. Growing land at a pretty big rate. Boy, the weather's nice right now. 70s. It'll be low 70s soon, dipping into the 60s. Why don't you go dine outside at Katie's tonight for dinner? What a great way to get your pre-weekend cranked up. Thursday night at Katie's, my goodness. New Orleans specialties, big portions, great for sharing, great bar. Yeah, dine outside as New Orleans as it gets. Iberville, corner Tallamoccas, a few blocks behind Angelo Bricato's ice cream joint. It's Katie's in Mid-City. Yummy. Wow. I guess it's a start. We'll talk more about it tomorrow. The North Shore might be getting an Office of Inspector General. I'm going to try to get Slidell State Rep on Stephanie Baralt next week to discuss it. We pretty much have our Fantasy Friday lineup locked and loaded. But I'm going to get Stephanie Baralt, Slidell State Rep, on next week. Yeah, there's legislation where St. Tammany will be, this is strange, will be put on a list of parishes that can have or establish an Office of Inspector General. I mean, the 64 parishes in Louisiana. If a parish wants to have an Office of Inspector General, that's their parish's business, right? Let the parish president, the mayor of the town, whatever, let them decide. But apparently you have to get on a list. And St. Tammany isn't on the list? Crazy. Anyway, the legislation is to put St. Tammany on the list of parishes that can establish an Office of Inspector General. Then the St. Tammany Parish Council would have to vote for it. Then it would go on a ballot, and the citizens of St. Tammany would have to vote for it or not. So it's still a few steps away, but I give Stephanie Baralt credit because I've been pounding this for at least a decade. St. Tammany, 250,000 plus folks, maybe the most affluent parish in the state. Lots of people, lots of money, lots of public projects because of tremendous growth, widening of roads and, sewage and sanitation and everything, water, everything. But a lot of public projects going on with public money. You want that money scrutinized. I mean, is there anyone in St. Tammany? I mean, St. Tammany's a bunch of New Orleans transplants primarily. Louisiana folks, New Orleans folks, Metro New Orleans. You just unequivocally trust your politicians. I don't care if it's your brother or your mother. If they're an elected official, you want a CPA type scrutinizing how the money's being spent. And then giving suggestions on how to spend it more efficiently if it's not being spent effectively and efficiently, which this is Louisiana. That's going to be the case. And then a lot of the time, there's corruption and criminal behavior going on. Now, St. Tammany, A.G. Crow nixed it about 7 years ago. Pathetic. But you got the Naturally Nolans Bridge. No, St. Tammany needs an IG. And believe it or not, set up like the New Orleans office. Poor Kim Chatelaine in Jefferson. That office is controlled by the politicians, not the New Orleans office. A lot of autonomy. St. Tammany, just follow New Orleans' lead. Believe it or not, we got it right on that one. No, that's good news for St. Tammany. Need an IG. Hey, New Orleans, I'll be back tomorrow, straight up 4 o'clock. Fantasy Friday edition of the program. See you then.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 6 p.m.